Rami, now, exactly now, just started the recording. Thank you so much, Rami. Appreciate that. So, guys, enjoy this session 5 of this PMP PMBOK 8 training series. And Rami, today you will have a session with the team and also on Wednesday. So, guys, thank you so much. And I'll hand over to Rami now.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Hi everyone. Do you hear me, Ahmed? I don't know.
Yes, everything
There
is
is
good.
a
We can
lag.
see
I don't know
your
if it's from.
yeah.
Okay, now you know what? Let me turn off the camera maybe to enhance the connectivity. It will be better. Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
thank you very much, Ahmed. Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So before we dive into today's session, I would like first to thank Ahmed for this initiative. And also I want to take a moment to talk about something that's even more important than tools, certification, or methodology. It's about sharing knowledge. As you said, Ahmed, in our industry, many people believe that knowledge is power, but I truly believe something different. Knowledge shared is power multiplied, because when you keep knowledge to yourself, you grow alone. But when you share it, you grow and you help others grow with you. And this is exactly how strong communities are built. Today, we are not here just to learn scheduling fundamentals or Primavera P6. We are here maybe to share with you my experience, ideas, mistakes, and lessons learned. And let me tell you something honestly. Everything I know today did not come only from books or courses. It came from people who shared with me even their insight. So and that made all the difference. So I encourage each one of you, don't hesitate to share your experience, even if you think it's simple. Sometimes what you feel basic um, to you can break out for someone else. And most importantly, when you leave this session, please don't keep the knowledge for yourself. Share it with your colleague, your friends, your network. This session will be recorded and we will share the record, inshallah, soon. Because the real impact of learning is not what you keep, it's what you pass on. Let's build a community where we don't complete by hiding knowledge, but we grow by lifting each other up. Thank you very much, and let's start our session. Bismillah. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Mohammed Rami Tmar, a project controls manager with nearly 15 years of experience in project control across major oil and gas, mining, and infrastructure projects in Middle East, North Africa, Morocco, Tunisia. Currently based on Saudi Arabia within Worley, a global leader, engineering leader. I lead the project controls activity across pipeline portfolio today, ensuring alignment between schedule, cost, risk, and performance. So my expertise cover the full project life cycle, including planning, scheduling, forecasting, earned value management, and portfolio level reporting. I'm also a Oracle trainer, certified provider, and Credly certification partner, where I support professionals in developing advanced skills in P6 and scheduling in general, project controls, best practices, passionate about knowledge sharing and continuous improvement. I actively contribute to the project management community through training. Sometimes I'm share post on LinkedIn or article. So today we have two sessions. One is today, and the second one is 25th, as explained by Ahmed. In today's session, we will talk about how we can build reliable schedule. Maybe the critical path method I will keep it for the next session. We will talk about schedule best practices, and we will do hands-on and project setup. 25th March session, we will talk about the critical path analysis and critical path method. We will talk about the schedule quality and credibility, resource leveling, fundamentals, progress update and forecasting, delay analysis, and of course, another hands-on on schedule analysis. So let's start by the first one, an overview of project scheduling and its importance. So before going into tools or technique, I want to step back and talk about the bigger picture. When we talk about project success, we often think about execution, team members, or technology, but in reality, it's all related to the governance. And honestly, based on my experience, what governs everything is purely project controls. Project controls is the system that integrates schedule, cost, and risk to provide visibility on where the project stands and where it's going. Project controls is the function that ensures the project is planned properly, executed under control, and continuously aligned with its objective. It's the system that connects strategy to execution, and this is the important thing. So at its core, project controls integrate three key dimensions. Cost, are we spending according to the plan? And when we talk about cost, there is a two component. One is the cost estimation, and the second one is the cost control. Then the schedule, are we planning, progressing according to the plan? And the progress measurement is a part of the scheduling also, and earned value management, etc., and other components. And risk, what can impact our plan moving forward? These are not independent. They are fully interconnected, let's say integrated. A delay in schedule creates cost overrun, of course, and a risk, but maybe it can protect milestone. So this is why project control is about integration, not silos. And this integration is what allows us to move from data to insight to decision. So now let's talk about one of the most powerful rules of project controls. The first one is the early warning system. A mature project control setup does not wait for a problem to happen. It detects signal such as negative flow trend, slippage in critical or even near critical activities, productivity degradation, cost burn rate anomalies. These are not just numbers, these are indicators of future problems. And the earlier we detect them, the more option we have. The second role or key role, let's say, is decision support. Because ultimately, all projects in the world are driven by decisions, not reports, not dashboards. And project controls provide scenarios analysis, forecast predictability, impact assessment. For example, let's say if we change the sequence, what happens? If we add resources, do we really gain time? And without project controls, these decisions are based on intuition. With the project controls, they are based on quantified impact. So the third role, we can talk about performance management. Project controls allows us to answer where are we today, and where are we going tomorrow, and how far are we from our targets and goals, not only in terms of status, but in terms of trend and trajectory. Because the project control or A project in general can look fine today, but already be failing tomorrow. Now, with this entire system, scheduling plays a central role. Why? Because scheduling is the core pillar of project controls. This is not a theory, this is a reality. If your schedule is weak, your forecast will be wrong, your decision are risk, your project is exposed. So I want to leave you today with this mindset. Project controls is not about controlling the project. It's about understanding the project before it's too late. And scheduling is the tool that makes that possible. So we can say a project without project controls is a project without visibility. And the earlier you see that problem or the problem, the cheaper it's to solve. In general, if I can say based on my experience, on large EPC project or EPCM even, 1 week of delay detected late can cost millions, but detected early, it can be absorbed. So within project controls, we said that scheduling is not just one component. It's the core pillar of project management because time is the dimension that connect everything. Engineering deliverables, procurement activities, construction execution, resource allocation, cash flow, and cost. Everything flows through the schedule. Now, if we look at this slide, at the center we have scheduling. Think of scheduling as the cockpit of the project, the dashboard of your. Let's say just like a pilot does not fly on aircraft based on intuition. You will be not able also to drive your proper car without a cockpit, without a dashboard. And same as a project manager should not run a project blindly without a plan. The cockpit provides real-time visibility, indicators, alert, direction, and scheduling plays exactly that role. On the planning side, scheduling defines the strategy of execution. So it answers a key question: what needs to be done, in what sequence, under what constraints, and within what time frame. A good schedule translates scope into a structured and executable plan. On the control side, a scheduling becomes a measurement system. It allows us to track progress against the baseline, which is the basis of all planned data. The baseline or the reference is the basis of the planned percentage, planned date, etc. And which this is will allow us to do the variance analysis. At the end of the day, when we prepare a plan, we will have a basis or a reference. This baseline will help me during the execution to do to update it and to compare the actual or the current situation with my baseline and to do some variance analysis. Identify also delays early, detect deviation in logic or execution, focus on critical and near critical activity. This is where scheduling becomes an early warning system, not just a reporting tool. But the most powerful dimension in the as a role of scheduling, let's say, is the decision making. Because ultimately, as we said before, projects are driven by decision. A reliable schedule allows us to run scenarios. Sorry, yeah, to run scenarios, test alternative, understand the impact of changes, anticipate risk before they materialize it. For example, let's say if we delay procurement, what is the impact on the construction? Or if we accelerate one activity, Does it really reduce the overall project duration? And without scheduling, this question cannot be answered objectively. And this is where many projects fail, not because the schedule was missing, but because the schedule was not reliable, not used, or even not trusted. And this is a big problem. So I want you to remember this key idea. Scheduling is not about creating the dates in Primavera P6. Scheduling is about structuring the project, controlling the execution, and enabling a better decision. So if project controls is the brain of project management, the scheduling is the nervous system that connects everything together. And Primavera P6 is simply the tool that helps us implement that system. So if I make a conclusion, I will say, show me your schedule and I will tell you how your project will end. Now that we understand the importance of scheduling within project controls, let's define what project scheduling actually is. At its simplest level, the definition of scheduling is the time planning of project activity. Project scheduling is the process of planning when and in what sequence project activities will be performed to achieve the project objective within a defined time frame. But this is the general definition, okay? But in reality, it goes much deeper than that. Scheduling is about transforming the project scope into a time-based execution model or execution strategy. So in simple terms, project scheduling answers three key questions. And please remember that. What needs to be done, the activities, and in what orders this work will be done when we talk about logic and dependencies, and when will it be done when we convert everything to calendar and when we extract the dates and the durations. So as a more advanced perspective in project controls mindset, scheduling is not just about date. It's about the decision-making tool, forecasting engine, control system. It allows you to predict project completion, identify the critical path, what drives the finish date, analyze delays and risk, support claims and change management, optimize resources and execution strategy. So first, it's about a logical sequencing of work. A project is not just a list of activities in a table. It's a network of interdependent tasks. You cannot start construction before, let's say, receiving the IFCs drawings. You cannot install equipment before procurement is completed or before the civil foundation is ready. So scheduling define how work flows from start to finish. So maybe uh, since my background in this, let's say, 14 years of experience is purely engineering and construction, maybe you will feel that even the examples which will be shared today is related to engineering and construction, and I can see, mashallah, a big number of attendants, and I'm sure that there is various experience maybe from IT and other domain and fields. And I'm sorry for that, but I believe that this scheduling techniques and methodology it can be applied on any project, any type of project. So second, scheduling integrates resource and constraint. This includes availability of manpowers, equipment and materials, the site constraint, the contractual milestones. So the schedule is not a theoretical, it's reflect the real execution condition of the project. Third, scheduling allows us to forecast project completion based on logic, durations, and progress. We can predict when the project will finish, where delays may occur, and what activities are driving the timeline. So again, scheduling is not just a timeline, it's a dynamic model of the project, a model that evolves, updates, and reflects reality. So as a conclusion for this slide, we can repeat it. A schedule is not a list of dates or activity in a table. It's a model of how the project will be executed. Now that we understand what is scheduling or what scheduling is and its role within project controls, let's answer a very important question. Why is scheduling so critical in any type of project? First, scheduling defines the project roadmap. It tells us how the project will be executed and in what sequence and within what time frame. And without a schedule, the project has no clear direction. It becomes reactive instead of structured. Second, scheduling identifies critical activity. Not all activity have the same impact on the project milestone. Some activity directly drive the project completion date. These are what we call the critical path. If one of these activities is delayed, the entire project is delayed. So scheduling allows us to focus on what really matters. And we will talk about it maybe the next session, this critical path method, the multiple critical path, and we will make a deep dive on this terminology. So third, a scheduling supports optimal resource allocation. Effective scheduling ensures resources are used efficiently to meet project goals within time constraint. Fourth, scheduling enables forecasting and risk mitigation. A good schedule allows us to predict completion date, anticipate delays, evaluate risk before they happen. So instead of reacting to a problem, we proactively manage them, enhance stakeholders' communication, and enable a proactive problem solving. And finally, fifth reason, let's say, is improved on-time completion. Project with detailed schedule achieve up to 30% higher rates of on-time project delivery. And this is, of course, finishing the project in the time. It will improve the client satisfaction, the continuity of the business, and everything. And this brings us back to the first question. Why does scheduling plays a central role in the previous slide? Because it's only a function that connects scope, what we need to deliver, with the time, when we deliver it, with the execution, how we will deliver it. And without scheduling, you cannot identify your critical path or paths, since it's possible to have a multiple path. You cannot forecast completion. You cannot properly manage risk. So again, and again, scheduling is not just a planning tool, it's the foundation of project execution and control. If you lose control of your schedule, you lose the control of your entire project. Now let's move, let's say, more deeper. Let's move from understanding schedule to understanding how it's actually built and managed in real project. And this is based on the PMI edition 6, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ahmed. So, because scheduling is not one-time activity, it's a continuous management process that runs throughout the entire project lifecycle. So the step one, if you can see here, is plan the schedule management. We always start by defining how we will manage the schedule. This includes the planning methodology, the level of details, the maybe the list of deliverable or other, if it's engineering, the tools, typically Primavera P6, and defining the calendar, the coding structure, and the reporting format. This step is critical because it sets the rules of the game. And if this is not clear, the schedule becomes inconsistent, sorry, and difficult to control. Second step is define activities. And before that, before this step, there is a step which is part of the scope management. It's the WBS definition, and we will talk about it in the next slide. Once the WBS structure is defined, we break down the work package into activities. This is where we translate scope into executable tasks. Each activity should be clear, measurable, assignable. At this stage, we are building the foundation of the schedule. Step 3 and 4 determine dependency and sequence activities. We will connect the activities using logic. There is where the schedule becomes a network of dependencies. We define predecessor and successor using relationships and like finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, etc. If it's in parallel or not in parallel. This step is extremely important because logic defines how the project will flow, and if the logic is wrong, the schedule is unreliable. And this is very important point here. And sometimes the scheduler will be not able to define the technical sequence of activities. And for that, it's very important, and we will talk about it in the next slides. I'm really sorry, team. I'm not able to read the chat since I'm focused on the presentation. If there is any question, we can keep it to the Q&A session. We will schedule a Q&A session for the end of the next session, inshallah. So please write your question, and if it's related to a specific slide, write the number of slide. And maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow, the next session, it depends on the time frame. We will select maybe 10 or 15 questions, and we will answer all your questions. But right now, in this live condition, it's not easy at all to answer your question in the live chat. And please avoid to send anything not related to our session topic, please. We in purpose we authorized the chat as agreed between me and Ahmed bin Hamouda, and we believe that it's very important to give you the opportunity to raise your voice and ask your question in case of need. Okay, good. So step number 5, estimate resources. And this is very important step. We determine the resources required, manpower, equipment, materials. And this step links scheduling to cost, productivity, and execution feasibility. Without resources, the schedule remains theoretical. Step 6, estimate duration. Now we define how long each activity will take. and this should be based on experience, honestly. And judgment, expert judgment are very important here. And also based on the productivity rates in similar work front. For example, historical data, project condition, and even the quantities, of course, the budgeted quantities which will be installed, or the effort of work, if it's engineering, development, or anything else. So this is where realism comes into play. Too optimistic estimation, it's not good. Schedule will fail. And too conservative estimation also impact the competitiveness. And this is a very sensitive subject. Okay, we need to be careful. We need to also estimate the contingency. We need to make sure that we are not optimistic and we are not also too conservative. Step 7, develop the schedule. And this is the integration phase. We will integrate everything, the list of activity, the logic, the durations, the resources, and we generate the baseline schedule. At this stage, we run the critical path method calculation, which we will talk about it in the maybe next session. I'm not sure if we will have time to discuss it tonight. Identify the critical path, analyze float, and validate the schedule quality. This becomes the reference plan for execution, which we name it the baseline. So the step 8, maybe, and I think it's the last one, yes. This is where real project control happens. The schedule is continuously updated with actual progress, and we will compare this actual situation against the baseline, analyze the deviation, the variances. We assess the delays, the critical path will change, the forecast completion. These steps transform the schedule into a decision making tool. So there is an important concept. The scheduling is a cycle, is iteration. And this process is not linear. It's a continuous loop. As the project evolves, activity can change. Logic evolves. Duration are refined. So we continuously monitoring and tracking the schedule, add and analyze all delays events, highlight all potential reason of delay, and issue and document everything during every cutoff, every update. And this is will help us in case of any claims or any extension of time analysis. So a key message: a schedule is not something you create. It's something you continuously refine and control. And in a large project, this cycle happens constantly. Every update is not just progress reporting. It's like a reforecast of the entire project outcome, which can impact the strategy and helps the decision maker to take the effective, corrective, or preventive actions. So the quality of your project outcome depends on how well you manage this cycle. Good. So before we even open Primavera P6 and before we create a signal activity, we need to understand one fundamental truth. A schedule is not built in Primavera. It's built from the project input. Let's say from the execution team input. And the quality of this input will directly define the quality of your schedule. Many schedules fail not because of poor software usage, but because they are built on weak or misunderstood inputs. If your inputs are wrong, your schedule will be wrong. Simple as that. And here I need to highlight something very important. The project is our project. It's not the scheduler's project. And the schedule is the project team schedule. It's not the schedule or the planner schedule. And even if the scheduler has a strong experience and he is able to develop and prepare the entire schedule, and he knows about the sequence, etc., it's not at all healthy to let him develop and manage the schedule alone. The involvement and the contribution of the team members or the execution team members in the development phase of the schedule is a key of success of project, and we will highlight this in the next slides. Second input important is the scope of work, the foundation. The first and the most critical input is the scope of work. This defines what needs to be delivered and what is included, and just as importantly, what is executed. If the scope is unclear, your WBS will be incomplete. What WBS is the work breakdown structure. Your activities will miss critical work. Your schedule will not reflect reality. No clear scope, no reliable schedule. So the third input, which is very important, is the contract, the rules of the game. And this is really the second key input of before, to be able to do the scheduling establishment. The contract defines milestone and deadline, the constants and obligation, the penalties like liquidated damages, for example, reporting and approval requirement. Your schedule must be aligned with the contract. Milestone must match contractually commitment. Logic must respect execution strategy, and dates must reflect contractual obligations and contractual milestone. So a schedule disconnected from the contract is a huge risk, is not a tool. Another input we can highlight the bill of quantities. This is where we understand the volume of work, the scale of activities, the effort required, especially in construction schedule. For the engineering, another approach, we have the list of deliverables. The BOQ help us to define realistic durations, estimate resources, and validate productivity assumption. Without the BOQ, the duration become just guesses, not engineering-based estimates. Then we need also as input before starting the schedule management plan, and we already discussed about it in the previous slide, which we will secure in this deliverable or in this input the governance, how the schedule will be the development and the level of details and the rules for update and reporting, the progress measurement system, which what kind of rules of credit we will use, for example, to update the project, and this is part of the next session, inshallah. The standards and the methodology, the earned value management KPIs and threshold, and it's ensure the consistency, the governance, and alignment across the project. Without a clear plan, every planners build their own version of the truth. Then there is strong transition. We combine all this input, and the scope tell us what to do. The bill of quantity helps define how much effort is needed. The resources define who will do it, and contract define all the constraints and the milestone. And the management plan define how we control it. Only then we can build a credible and defensible and reliable schedule. So Primavera P6 is just a tool, and the real intelligence of schedule comes from how well you understand and structure these input. There is a famous, let's say, statement. We can say it always: garbage in, garbage out. If your input is garbage, your output is garbage for sure. So here, if you can, as highlighted in the framework, based on this input, we will go and define the WBS. I don't know. We already discussed it about. Hold on, please. Let me check. Yeah. We still in the next slide. We will discuss about WBS. Yeah. Okay. So here we will talk about the WBS in the next slide. So the lowest level of WBS is the work package. Okay, and we need to separate and differentiate the WBS level and the activity level is totally different. Okay, and this is one of the key weaknesses of softwares like MS Project. Because the structure or the concept and the architecture of databases are not aligned with the critical path method. And that's why we can confirm that MS Project as a software cannot be a scheduling software. Impossible. And there is even more than 11 weakness. We name it, it's highlighted even in MS Project, which push people and even global companies or multinational to use software like Oracle Primavera P6 instead of MS Project. We will talk about that in the next slides maybe. So the lowest level of WBS is a work package. And if we go to details into this work packages, we can define activities. And on the same time here, we can identify the resource breakdown structure, the direct and indirect resources, who will do the work. And then the assignment of resources that will answer the question, how we will build this using a sequence or a link between those activities. And when we convert these activities on calendar, we will be able to answer on the question when. So if you can see the typical question which any one of us ask this question on daily basis: what, who, how, when. And based on that, we build the famous Gantt chart and the projection of the resource loaded and the cost loaded on the activity level, which will create the histograms of resources, of resource distribution and S-curve, which will allows us to monitor the project. And this is also will go to we'll deep dive. We'll go through details on this part. So before we define activities and before we build the logic, we must start within something fundamental: the work breakdown structure, or WBS. The WBS is a hierarchical or decomposition of the project scope. It breaks the project into smaller and manageable component. In simple terms, it answers the question, what exactly do we need to do to deliver? And this is very important. The WBS is not a schedule. It's not about time. Be careful. That's why it's not a part even of the scheduling processes. WBS is a separate mechanism, as part of the scope management knowledge area before. And this WBS is telling us the structure of the scope of work. And why a WBS is critical? Because it ensures that nothing is missing. Everything is clearly defined. Responsibility are properly assigned. If your WBS is weak, your schedule will be weak. Your cost control even will be weak, because there is a direct link between the WBS and the cost breakdown structure and the cost of account. Your reporting will be unclear. So now there are some key principles to respect. First, deliverable oriented. We structure the WBS based on deliverable, not action. Or I mean, for when we said deliverable oriented, it's like phase, for example, or geographic area, or anything. Like, for example, we will split the WBS level 1 into engineering, procurement, construction, not to do this and to do that, etc. Second is 100% rule. So the WBS must cover 100% of project scope. Nothing should be outside the WBS. And if we forget anything, it will be a problem. And it will require even adjustment on the baseline, and it will impact the full mechanism. At the end of the day, this baseline or this schedule will be used like, how can we name it in English? Like the reference. Everything in this WBS is a part of the scope of work. Everything is not part of this WBS, and it will appear in the future. It's a part of the change management process. It's additional work. Okay. So third, mutually exclusive. Each element should be clearly defined with no overlap between them. The overlap will be on the activity level, not the WBS level. The WBS need to have a consistent level of details. We should not have a very detailed element in one area and very high level element in another level. The balance is a key. That's why we are talking about a level of WBS, like a hierarchy, level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. So if your WBS is not structured properly, your schedule will never be reliable. And a strong schedule starts with a strong WBS. This is a key. And in Primavera P6, the WBS is not just structure, it's the backbone of reporting, responsibility, accountability, and control. This is clear. So once the schedule is developed, let's assume that we will go through all steps, and we reach the final steps. We reach one of the most critical moments in project control, is the baseline approval. And I want to be very clear here. It's very important, and please be try to focus on this statement. A schedule is not valid until it's approved and accepted by all stakeholders. And this is very important. Someone, we heard this question a lot. I send the baseline to my client and I never receive a baseline approval. And this is possible. In this case, you need to make sure at least to have interactive session which you will in this during this session you will share what you have in your project, what is the content, what are the dates, milestone, etc. What is the level of details? Then share your schedule via official transmittal, and if there is some clause that highlight if this or reply the deliverable will make sure of everything clear. The baseline is not just the version of schedule, it's the official reference against which progress will be measured, delays will be assessed, performance will be judged. If the baseline is weak or not aligned with your scope of work, with your contract, etc., you will face a dispute for sure. You will lose control. You will lose trust, and you will struggle to justify delays. So no approved baseline is equal to no control. There is another important key. Yeah, we will talk. I did your question about how we can evaluate the baseline is correct, and we will answer to this question in the future slide, inshallah. If it's not during this session, maybe next session. Sorry, I'm really by coincidence I read this message. I'm not able to read everything. So stakeholder buy-in, stakeholders buy-in is a critical point. What is the meaning of buy-in? In Arabic, we name it al-musadaqa. We need the buy-in from all stakeholders: project manager, engineering, construction team, procurement team, even the client. Why? Because they are the ones who will execute the plan, challenge the dates, deliver the work. If they don't believe on the schedule, they will not follow it. It's clear. A schedule imposed is ignored. A schedule built with a team is a success, is executed. And instead to give you excuse in case of problem, instead to give you to tell you the schedule is wrong, the scheduler is weak, this is not right, who tell you to do that? Instead of that, if they are committed, they will give you a recovery plan. They will give you a correction actions instead of complaints. So the alignment during development is key. This is why engage execution team during the planning, validate durations and sequence, challenge assumption early. This ensure a realistic schedule. And this is one of the key question, my friend, key answer to your question. When I share this schedule to all the execution team, I will be able to secure or to answer to the question if my schedule is correct or not. And I will also secure the ownership and the commitment of the execution team. So buy-in is a build during development, not during approval. There is also a very important segment or section, which is the basis of schedule, a narrative schedule, a lot of nomination of this document. It's a narrative schedule will be shared, or narrative document will be shared with the baseline during the submission. It's a part of the planning package, okay? And this is one of the hidden power, let's say. Uh, Assumptions, methodology, productivity rates, a constant risk and exclusion. Why this is critical? Because the schedule itself not adapted based on which execution strategy and constructability strategy, for example, what assumption were made, and the schedule, of course, shows the result, and the basis of schedule explains the logic behind it. And documenting all assumption, it's very important. And if the assumptions are not documented, they will be forgotten, of course. They will be challenged later. Yani they will ask you, issue? There is any problem of connectivity? Sorry. Hold on, let me check what's the problem. Okay. Okay. Hold on, let me switch to another source of connectivity. Sorry for that. Is it better now? Hello? Okay, good. Very good. So we are talking about importance of documenting assumption. And I said, if assumptions are not documented or very well documented, you will forget about it. I mean, tomorrow, when you start the execution, for sure you will forget about it. And even your client or the stakeholders, they will challenge you later. And this assumption, if are not highlighted clearly, they will become a dispute, okay, and problems, and it can create really a lot of communication issue. But they are clearly, if they are clearly documented, you can defend your schedule, you can protect your schedule, your team, and yourself. You can justify delays. You can explain deviations. Uh, this is all about assumptions. So to summarize, the baseline gives you the control. The buy-in gives you the commitment in the execution. The basis of schedule give you the credibility and protection. And together they transform a schedule from a simple plan into a powerful project control tool. I hope this is clear. So this slide, I like this slide. Usually it's a reverse slide. So what is the target? And what is the main goal of project control, Shabab? The main goal is the early warning sign. And analytic skills is a key for project controller. Okay. So if the project controller is not able to provide the early warning, there is no sense of project control. Okay. And to have to be able to generate, let's say, and detect early warning sign, you need to have a strong dashboard, integrated, let's say, dashboard. And to have an integrated dashboard, you need to have a strong monitoring system. And to build a strong monitoring system, you need to have a good schedule. And to build a good schedule, you need the scheduling workshop. You need to secure scheduling workshop and collective effort. And this is the key. Oof, this is a very strong topic now, and very important topic. Okay, why we are not talking? We will not talk about why scheduling is critical. Is already we already discussed about that. But now, why most schedule fails? What are the common pitfalls of the schedule? And this is a problem. This is a big problem, Shabab. The reality is schedule phase before even Primavera P6 is opened. Hello?
Hello?
There is a problem? Okay, good. Okay. So many projects have a schedule, but very few have a reliable schedule. Yani we build the schedule and we keep it decorated in wall, or in our desk, and this is not healthy at all. And there is a lot of reason for that, and we can highlight some. For example, first one, and it's already highlighted in the previous slide, no clear WBS structure. If the WBS is weak, activity are not well organized, scope is not properly defined, responsibility is unclear, and the schedule loses its foundation and the trust. Second reason, poor logic. This is the most common issue. Activity are not properly linked. Relationships are missing or incorrect. So the schedule becomes just a list of dates, not a logic-driven model. And if the logic is wrong, everything else becomes meaningless and misleading. This is very, very important point. There is also the overuse of constraint. This is a big one. Instead of building a proper logic, people force date using constraint. And the result, the schedule look correct, but it's no longer dynamic. It cannot react to the change. You cannot even detect the delays, the potential delays. It's like something frozen, and it's unrealistic, of course. In a real project, based on my experience, trust me, I faced a project. Every cutoff date, every week, there is a weekly progress update and weekly schedule update. Every week we have a new critical path, but new critical paths, plural, even 10 and 12 critical paths. And we are obliged to monitor and to track the reason of delay of each path separately, and highlighting that to the management to help them to take the decision, preventive or corrective action. And you know the truth, maybe you will be surprised. This feature of to separate the critical path is not even part of a software like a MS project. And this is the big surprise. Even for me, during Shabab, there is a problem again. So maybe it's from your side. Okay. So let's go back. Sorry for that. Even one of the question I always ask during the interviews to the candidates, do you work on Primavera P6 or MS project? If I receive the answer that this person is working only on MS project, I can confirm clearly without doubt that this person never did a delay analysis at all. Never. Why? Because the feature is not there. It's not his problem. The problem of the software, the feature to separate the multiple paths and to detect the reason of delay of each path is not there. It's not in the MES project. And this is one of the main reasons why multinational engineering and construction company, they are not using MS Project as a scheduling tool, and they are using Primavera. Of course, there is a weakness in each software. It's clear. But today, Primavera is, let's say, the number one, and we will discuss about that in the future slide. And it's not commercial. Trust me, it's not commercial. I'm not the owner of Oracle, you know, but this is a reality based according to experience. Okay, good. So one of the reasons also is unrealistic duration. Sometimes duration are too optimistic or copied from previous project without even validation. This creates a schedule structure that looks good as a structure, but cannot be executed. Why? Because the simulation needs to be aligned with the effort, with the quantities budgeted, with the productivity ratio, the actual productivity ratio of the execution team. One of the reason also is ignoring float and critical path, and this is a problem. When we don't monitor float and we don't analyze the critical path, so they don't know what is driving the project and when the delay happens, and it comes a surprise. So this is the trick here, the word surprise. If you are surprised in any reason one day because of delay or something, the meaning of that, there is no effective project control on the system. There is no effective project control in the project. And this is not maybe because of the project controller alone or the planner alone, maybe because of the system, because of the governance level in the project. Last, yeah, maybe it's not last, the lack of accountability. In many projects, no one truly owns the schedule, and we discussed about that. Planning builds, team execute it, but accountability is unclear. So when delays happen, everyone complains and everyone explains, but no one owns the problem. No one can confirm that he is accountable. And this is the problem. In this case, the schedule is often imposed, as we discussed earlier, not agreed, engineering disagree with duration and sequencing, procurement disagree with the timeline of the let's say the bidding cycle, or even the manufacturing and expediting. The construction does not trust sequencing and interface. The schedule exists but is not followed. It's not just a paper. So the last one, or the one before the last one, is the non-involvement of the execution team, like one of the points which was discussed earlier. If the execution teams are not involved, the schedule ignores field reality. Constraints are missed, productivity assumptions are wrong, the schedule becomes theoretical, execution will not be a part of the planning. One key problem is the weak governance. Even a good schedule will fail without governance. Even the strongest or the powerful execution team, the best one in the world, will fail without governance. The schedule become outdated and irrelevant. A schedule is not one-time deliverable, as we discussed earlier. It's a living or living model. If you don't update it, it loses relevance. It's no longer reflect reality, and it's became useless. So weak change management also is a reason, one of the reason. This is major issue in real project. project evolves, scope change, design change, a client give instruction, okay, and the contractor or the consultant trying to satisfy the client without validation, the variation will happen. But if these changes are not properly integrated into a change management process and reflected in the schedule become disconnected from the reality, and this is a big problem. A strong schedule requires formal change control and impact analysis and RASI metrics, rebaselining when required. If we can see clearly that the schedule baseline or the current baseline is not reflecting the reality, there is a lot of extra work, there is a lot of huge variance, uh, then it's obsolete baseline, and we cannot track and compare the actual percentage and date compared to the schedule. It's really important to request a rebaselining when required. And the final consequence of all of that, people stop trusting the schedule. Really, this is the key. Everything related to trust, even in our life, everything related to trust. If you lose the trust, خلاص, the schedule is no longer used for decision maker, is just a paper, no more. So a schedule does not fail because of the software, and it's not fail because of the planner. I repeat it again. It fails because of how it's built and used with this execution team, the entire execution team. So if your schedule is not logic driven and is not regularly updated and analyzed, then it's not a schedule, it's just a drawing. It's just paper. Okay, so now we will go to the second section. We've almost finished the first introduction part, and we will go to the introduction to Primavera P6 key feature. Here we will navigate together the Primavera P6 interface. We will create and manage a new project. Today we'll try to stop until we will not see all the steps, but we will go to creating the project, then listing the activity, then sequencing the activity. Tomorrow we'll talk about resource loading, we will talk about critical path analysis, etc. Okay. So let's answer the first question. What is Primavera P6 first? Primavera P6 is Oracle's enterprise project portfolio management software, essential for planning, scheduling, and controlling large-scale complex construction project, not only construction project, for information, even IT, all the fields are using this software. It's the industry gold standard for its robust capability in managing multi-faceted project and multi-interface project with numerous activity, resources, and constraints. So Oracle's Primavera has multiple editions, and each suited to a different scale and need. One of them is Primavera P6 Professional, we name it PPM, okay, Professional Project Management. This is a desktop client application version intended for individual, like standalone, for small team, for example. And the Primavera P6 EPPM, Enterprise Project Portfolio Management, is a web server-based version that supports multi-user portfolio collaboration and enterprise feature. And this is a very, very powerful edition. Why? Because it will give you the capability to link a different project in one platform. Sometimes we have program, not only project. I think maybe Ahmed during the previous slides and session, they give you the difference between a project and program and portfolio. And when there is a direct link between a project, it will create a program. And Primavera P6 EPPM will give us the possibility to manage those portfolio. Primavera Cloud or Oracle Primavera Cloud is a cloud-based delivery model for Primavera capability, often with subscription pricing. And there is a possibility to add more modules and components such as risk analysis, analytics, BI, business intelligence dashboard, contract management, progress monitoring system, etc. Each edition has a different pricing application capability and cost component. And for instance, for example, P6 Professional Standalone is simpler to deploy, but less collaborative if it's in case of program or portfolio. EPPM allows enterprise level control, but has a higher infrastructure requirement and licensing demands. It's really expensive. To ensure compliance and proper implementation and access to official license, it's always recommended to work with an Oracle partner and authorized distributor such as TMR Project Consulting, founded in 2017, Oracle representative in the North African region, and credibly accredited certification global training provider globally. And I need to disclose something here, very important. When you install Primavera P6, and when you download it from the delivery website of Oracle, yeah, you can download it and you can install the software, but you have only 30 days. And after 30 days, this is the trick here. The software will not stop. But if you are using the software for professional use, there is automatic notification when once you are connected to the internet will be raised to Oracle to inform them that you are using the software without a proper license, and Oracle have the right to apply any penalty or something like that. So in case of audit, really strong and huge penalty will be applied. So please be careful on that. And this is a very important key as an Oracle partner I need to disclose it. Okay. So why Oracle Primavera P6 is essential for construction project management or engineering or any other type of project. In complex project involve multiple stakeholders and tight deadline and complex dependencies and significant financial investment. And Primavera P6 provide construction professionals with comprehensive scheduling capability to manage thousands of activity, for example, resource optimization tools to efficiently allocate labor, equipment, and materials, a cost management feature to track a budget and forecast the expenses and manage the cash flow, risk assessment tools to identify and mitigate potential issue, a reporting functional to communicate progress to stakeholders. Okay, so understanding the interface layout. Okay, the P6 interface consists of several key components, like the menu bar, and we will open P6 and we will go through this after the slides. Okay. The menu bar contain drop-down menu for all P6 functional, which is in the top: file, edit, view, project, enterprise, tools, admin, etc. The toolbars, quick access to common command. The navigation bar located on the left side allows switching between different view. Detail windows displaying information about the selected item. Activity network or Gantt chart in the time scale, which will give us a visual representation of the project schedule, and status bar at the top show current database, user, and other status information. One of the other key views in P6 is the activity table, the main view for creating and managing the project activity. The WBS also for organizing the project's work breakdown structure. The resource library for managing project resources and managing multiple projects, a dashboard for viewing project performance metrics, and of course the famous resource analysis, graphs, table, spreadsheet, and histogram. We will go through these details. So I will switch to the software now. We still have some slide. I will go back to the slide, but let me switch to the software to discuss a little bit about the software. Okay. So this is P6 main interface. And let me say it, to be honest here, the interface of Primavera P6 is not user-friendly. And it will give you the feeling in the first time this software is very complicated. There is a lot of buttons, etc. But I will try to share with you today some tricks to make you feel better, let's say, okay? Just to understand the conception of this the software and the algorithm behind, and it will give you really a good feeling uh, after that. Okay, so let's start talking about the sections. The software is divided on 3 sections, if you can see it here. The first section is the table, which there is some column, and we can add and remove and modify the column based on our requirement. Here, for example, I'm opening the project menu or window. And so this list is the list of project, okay? There in this side, there is the time scale with the bar chart, which we name it the Gantt chart. And these bars here, since I'm opening the list of project, these bars are the project, are not activities, be careful. And here there is the settings table, which will allow us to modify the settings of each selected project. For example, to go to general, to highlight the project ID, project name, the responsible manager, obviously the OBS. We will talk about it after. We can define the planned start date, etc., of the project, calculation and settings. Okay, and if I right click in any project, this is for information, the list of default project, the database by default Primavera database. Okay, so if I select any project, right click and open project, there is a new window will open, and this window is now inside the project, the same structure, the same sections, but it's different data. Okay, this list or this table now are the list of activities which are with color green and yellow, etc., are the WBS. The bar chart here or the Gantt chart here is the activities, and we can see clearly that there is a link, some arrows between activity, which are the sequence, the logical sequence, and we discussed about it. And here there is the settings bar of the activity. For example, what is the activity type? What is the duration type? What is the percent complete type? Which calendar is assigned to this activity? And we will go deeper and we'll discuss about that in the previous slides. What is the status of the activity, if it's updated or actual or finished, etc. during the update? What are the resources assigned to this activity, if we have labor or no labor or material resources? And what are the predecessor and successor? There is additional feature here which are not by default appearing, but we can easily open this option and feature in case of need. Okay, good. So what we have here, we have a list of but button uh, like uh, let's say uh, it's are the same like which we have it here in the menu. Okay, so and this is the trick. Instead to go and be يعني confused with the all this button, you can go directly to this menu and understand what are the features here, and if each feature what is doing, and then your life will be easier. Okay, like for example, file, edit, and view. It's a common in almost all softwares. Okay, file here. We will go through the feature quickly. We will go a fast scan. I'm really sorry. This is not interactive session. Usually in the full professional session, the number is very less. يعني no more than 10 or 8%. All camera are activated, the micro and microphone are activated, people are sharing the screen, asking the question live interaction. But because we have a constant time, and because mashallah the number of participants, it's not possible to have interaction in this kind of session. And also we are obliged to go through high level details, not to deep dive into details, because we have only 2.5 hours today and 2.5 hours after tomorrow. But compared to the full professional training, we are talking about 7 hours per day, or between 6 to 7 hours per day for four days of training. It's obvious, it's a big difference. Even the level of details and the information are very detailed. Okay. So here we have a new open close all. So a new to create a new project, open to open any existing project, close all to close all open project. The second section is the print section. And this software, Primavera P6, is not like Excel or MS Project or any other software which you can save as PDF, and you save the PDF in your desktop and you use it. No, this software, since it's linked to a database, even if it's standalone is linked to a standalone database, the concept of saving is not there at all. When you modify anything, the modification will be automatically and systematically saved on the software and the database. Okay, except all what is related to the graphical or graphic interfaces, like the color, the columns, etc., the logo of your company, the logo of your customers, the project names in the layout. All this can be saved as a layout to use it in the future. But everything related to the scheduling is not, you cannot save it. It will be saved systematically. And for that, there is no this feature of save as, etc. So what is the option we use it is the PDF print creator. We can, of course, now it's default option in all Windows. There is the default creative PDF creator or print. And when we build our schedule and when we prepare the layout, the graphic layout, we go directly and prepare and print out our deliverable schedule on PDF creator. Okay, and here there is the page setup option. The page setup here, you select the orientation of the page if you wanted portrait or landscape. The scaling, if you want it in one page or more than one page. The paper size, if it will be printed in A4, A3, since it's PDF, there is no big difference. Usually we use the biggest format. The margin, we keep it by default 0.5 or 0.5. The header and the footer are very important. Usually the header, we have the logo of our customer, the logo of our client, the logo of our company, and on the middle, the project name. Okay, the footer here we put usually the revision box. This revision box, we name it cartouche in French. The dates, the revision, V1, V2, etc. The check it and approve it. For information, the full training for the moment we have only French and Arabic دارجة يعني Tunisian and Magharibian, let's say دارجة. But I have a plan to build an English full English training session, inshallah. Just the problem of time. Really, I don't have time to convert all my PPT presentation and support. We are talking about more than 200 pages. Convert, translate all in English, and I'm not able to do that. I don't have time to do that. But I started this process, and inshallah, soon we will announce when once we'll be ready to the English version of training, inshallah. So here are the options. Same, you can show the activity table, the column, the grid lines, the Gantt chart, etc. Good. What we have here, print setup to select your print, PDF, like we said. The print preview, c'est l'aperçu avant impression, comme like all other software. Just to check what is the outcome of your PDF at the end when you print it. Of course, this is not the normal structure, but maybe we will try together to do something similar at the end of this training session, similar to the reality, of course. Okay. Good. Print is to save your document on PDF. Then you have the right to print it in any printer as a PDF document from your computer. The next session is import-export session. And like we said, since this software is linked to a database, so you can build your schedule, create the project, create the WVS, create the activities, create the sequence, etc. And then at the end, you have the right to send everything to your colleague or to your client as a native file. Okay. And this native file can be shared directly in format the XCR. We name it, the native file is XCR format. This format is used usually when we submit a baseline through official transmittal. Your client will ask you about the native file of your schedule to check clearly what kind of sequencing you are using, what are the resources loaded in your schedule, etc. And these details are not there in the PDF, in the, let's say, static document. Okay, so that's why we need to always to share the native file with the basis of schedule, the narrative document, and your PDF schedule. And to do that, there is this feature, import and export. Of course, import to import and export to export. Primavera P6 is the famous format of native file for P6. There is also XML. There is also Excel format, and this is this kind of format. Usually, we go on deep dive and we try all these features during the full training. But as I said today, it's not possible. I'm really sorry. Microsoft project. This is nothing. It's garbage. It's garbage. I'm not really fun with MS project, and even this sequence or this feature here in Primavera is garbage. if you try to convert your schedule to MS project, it will give you very wrong and bad quality of data. Why? Because the mapping between both softwares are not the same. Like, for example, I will give you one difference. In MS project, there is the structure of activity and sub-activities. But in Primavera, there is WBS and activities in two separate tables, and this is a big difference. Okay. Sorry, can I take a screenshot? Mashallah, I can see there is 300 participants today. So if I can take a screenshot quickly, please. And really thank you for your participation. I really appreciate that. Yani I didn't expect this number of attendees. 296 today is really a big number, and thank you for your trust. And I hope that I succeed to deliver a good quality of training, and I share it with you with a big heart this knowledge today, without any counterpart, of course. So let's move to the second session. The select project portfolio, and since this software, like we said, is it's possible to select a different assign or create a portfolio. And I mean, you can create the project, okay, and you can group your project based on the business line. For example, I will group all oil and gas project in one portfolio, all energy project in one portfolio, all data centers and IT project in another portfolio. This is possible as a feature in Primavera P6. Good. So the second menu is edit, and edit is really something typical and something which you can find it in any other. Yeah, the code appear in not yet, not will appear inshallah, Ibrahim. We need you with us. At the end of the session, the code will be appeared. So stay with us. Okay. So and to be honest, team, I expected to have maximum 100 participants, and even I discussed it with Ahmed. I informed him that I'm ready to provide 100 gridly fundamental badges for the participant. And now it's more difficult, even the selection. How can I select this 100? I don't know how, honestly. I will discuss with Ahmed. And I don't know, Ahmed, if you are here. You can hear me, but we need to think about it, how we will share this gift at the end of our sixth session, inshallah. Okay, so the first one is Control Z, undo. This is typical feature, but don't trust this feature in P6. Don't trust it, because when there is a problem, you will find it gray like that, and this is one of the weaknesses. Before P6, I remember in the beginning of my career, we working with another software, P3, and even before that, it's Short Track. And using and P3 is Primavera 3. Before even Oracle bought this software. Like you are painting in wall, and you don't have any chance to do any modification in case of mistake. And this is a problem. And when this P6 was يعني, we received the new version of P6, and we saw that there is a Control Z option. Everybody are celebrating this moment. It was really big, a big thing for us. But to be honest, until today, it's not working properly. So be careful for that. Okay. Uh, there is also the cut, copy, paste. It's simple feature. Plus add, delete. This is to add and delete any menu if you are opening the project. So you will add and delete project. If you are opening activity, you will add and delete activities. WBS same. It's depend on what is the window you are opening, and this is will work based on this window. Okay. The third one is dissolve, and this is only related to activity, of course. And this is one of the safest the suppression feature in P6. When you want to delete any activity, my advice to you, you never delete activity with delete this option. No, you always use dissolve. Why? Because why? Let's give you as a quick example. For example, we have three activity: A, B, C. A linked to B and B linked to C. Okay. There is no direct link between A and C, but in the middle, there is a predecessor which link A to C. So in reality, the path is linked, but there is no direct link between A and C. A linked to B and B linked to C. If we delete if we use the option or the feature delete and we delete the activity B, activity A and activity C, the link between both activity will be completely completely deleted. So activity A and C will be in parallel. But if we will use dissolve, the activity B will be dissolved instead of deleted, and the link between activity A and activity C will be there. And this is very important when we have a big schedule of thousands of activity. And if you will delete any activity and then by mistake you will forget about the sequence, the proper sequence of this activity or the predecessor of this activity, it will be a big problem, and it can create surprises of multiple paths. Tomorrow, when you detect this wrong link and you will correct it, you will try to correct it. There is a risk to make a huge slippage on your overall schedule. Okay, so there is a sign here. I need to hurry to accelerate a little bit. We still have, I think, 45 minutes. I need to accelerate. So assign here to assign resources to activity, assign activity code, assign predecessor and successor is one of the feature which we will discuss about it after. Select all is select all, control A, control F to find any word or specific thing, and control R to replace. Spell check is garbage, not working properly. So user preference here, it's the preference of the user. Okay, so and to be honest, I advise you to keep everything by default. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. We are working with the default configuration since years, and there is no issue. There is no problem. Okay, there is some minor modification, especially in the admin preference. But don't touch without any real need. Don't touch the settings of the software. I advise you. Hold on, please. Something happening. Okay. Okay, good. So the view, it's common also, as I said. File edit view are the common menu in all softwares. and view, c'est l'affichage en français. We have here all feature related to the graphic, okay? And even I can see this is one of the key features of P6 because everything related to the graphic interface. Yani any question raised from your client, from your any stakeholders, they will ask you about actions related to the graphic, related to the view. Like for example, I will tell you some simples. They will ask you, share with me the 3 weeks look ahead, the activity planned for the upcoming 3 weeks, for example. And we will use the filter to show this activity, and we will filter on the dates, you know. So we need just to understand the algorithm of what is required exactly. And even if you go to the filters here and you create a new filter, you can see where parameter is value, if, then, etc. It's simple algorithm. We can use it based on some variable. Like for example, if they ask you, show me the activity, the list of activity with a duration more than 10 days or less than 5 days, etc. You will filter on, you will use the duration, activity duration on the filter. If they ask you, show me the activities with the total float less than 5, and we will discuss about total float in tomorrow's, after tomorrow's session, inshallah. And here, of course, you will filter on total float, and you will use the total float as a parameter of filter. So the filters team is the best feature in P6. And trust me, you can do everything with this feature. Everything. All your reporting structure, or all your or any question raised by your stakeholders, by your client, sponsor, etc. You can answer to this, and you can extract this data using the filters. Okay. I will go to the top feature. I will not go one by one. I'm really sorry. Group and sort to sort and group the activities. We can use the WBS. We can use, yeah, yes, this is what we said. Don't use the lead for any activity. Instead, use the solve. This is what we said. Thank you. So group and sort the activities. We can group by WBS. We can also group by activity code. Sometimes the WBS is a contractual structure. We cannot touch it. There is a feature in Primavera P6, and which is not there in MS Project also. It will give you the flexibility to group your schedule based on another structure, is the activity code, like for example geographic zone or phase or commissioning system in construction or any other structure. Okay. What else here? Important, expand, collapse all, and collapse two. This is just to show you what kind of level of details you need to see in your schedule: level 1, level 2, level 3, and other. If there is more, you can just select which level you need to see, and it will be appeared. Okay, all this green are WBS. The icon of WBS is deux carré bleu, to blue. Hold on, see, I forget about it. Anyways, then the activity, you can see is a blue bar or gray bar. It depends on the status of the activity here. Okay, or red bar if it's critical. So this is what we have in the view. Let's move to the admin. Admin. This is the admin part for the software. Exactly, Karim. Squares. Thank you. Thank you, Karim. So the admin preference, you use it same here. Please don't touch the keep it by default. Keep it by default. Just one minor modification here in the parameters. Starting day of week by default is Sunday. I think the software was uh, developed for Gulf country in the past. So if you are not in the Gulf country, you need to put it on Monday as the first week of day. Then other, keep it, please. Keep it just in the earned value feature. Here we can put at complete value with current dates. There is a huge explanation here, and honestly, we don't have time to do that. No, really, sorry. Even the earned value management system, we don't have it in this training session. And from a project control perspective, it's very important to understand the effective uh, or the importance of the earned value management. It's not like a simple presentation in no, we need to reflect it in a real case project and to understand the different scenarios, especially of the estimated to complete and estimated at completion in case of the different formula, CPI and CPI and SPI. It's part of the PMP, I think, training, but in our training full professional training, we go and we make a deep dive in the earned value management system, since it's the pillar of the project management, the progress measurement, sorry, system, and the forecast calculation, and everything is based on the earned value management system. Good. So here, industry, as by default, we put engineering and construction. This is nothing. This is just a feature for Oracle to understand the users which are using the software are part of each industry section, engineering and construction, or government, aerospace and defense, or high technology manufacturing and other, or utilities and oil and gas. Okay, so next, sorry. The currencies here is to manage the different currencies. There is some currencies by default, like for example, for Tunisia, there is no Tunisian dinar. For Morocco, there is no Moroccan dirham. Even, I don't know, Real Saudi is there or not. So we can add any currency, and we can configure the exchange rate based on a dollar, and that's it. One of the weakness of the software also, there is no automatic exchange rate update for the standalone, and even for the EPPM, except the Primavera Cloud, I think they added this feature of the exchange rate. Last one in admin is admin category. This is just to configure the by default menu on the software. And this is usually we use it in some advanced features, but the common one we use it is unit of measure. When we create the resources, we discussed it, I think, about resources, that there is three type of resources. One is labor, the second one is non-labor, like all yani engine, like crane and other, and materials. Okay, and the unit of measure of labor and non-labor is common, is hours. Okay, but the materials unit of measure it depends on which we will use. Can be يعني square meter, kilogram, ton, linear meter, inch dia, any يعني material will be used as resources. Here we need to add all unit of measure in the software, which are not there by default. Okay, good. So let's go to tools, enterprise, and project team. Maybe even if we don't have time, we will continue inshallah Thursday, and I will try to make sure to complete the entire program inshallah. We have only 30 minutes. I will try to accelerate. Normally in this stage, we need to be able at least to show you how we create the project on the software, how we create the WBS, and how we create the activities, and how we make the sequence of activities. All this is a part of today's program, but I think it's impossible. But anyways, we will try to find, inshallah, a solution for that. Okay, good. So tools is the main, let's say, menu of the software. And here, to make it easy for you, we are using only two special, or mostly two feature. One is the schedule. Schedule is the basis. Schedule is to run to calculate the dates, to calculate the floats, etc. To run the critical path method, which will be discussed inshallah during the next session. Okay. The second one is the report. We use the report sometimes to extract some spreadsheet data, like the distribution of cost, the distribution of man hours, the distribution of quantities on activity level by resources. This is mainly when we use report. But using the standard generic report of Primavera P6 is ugly. Really, it's not a good report. Yeah, the Oracle, they did a huge effort in the cloud part, Oracle Primavera Cloud, and they prepared even dashboards, BI dashboard, etc. But in this version, Primavera PPM and EPPM, we make proper our own report with a simple link with Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, for example, to build our reporting. We are not using, honestly, the reporting feature of Primavera P6, to be honest. Okay, good. What else here? Top-down estimation was deleted in the last. It's an old option. We don't use it now, and it was even deleted in the new revision of P626. Good. What we have here, we have a project and enterprise. Okay. For why we have a separate data for project and enterprise, because there is a data related to the enterprise. We name it enterprise data, and there is a specific data related to the project. We name it project data. And to make it simple and easy, everything shared between several projects, we name it enterprise data. And everything specific for project that can be used only in one project, we name it a project data. Like, for example, if we talk about WBS, the WBS structure is specific. Okay, yeah, I agree. In similar project, we can use a similar component of WBS, but the WBS cannot be 100% same between two projects. Okay, so it's specific. The resource assignment, I'm not talking about the resource library, the resource assignment, and assigning this budget for this activity and the other budget for the other activity, it's specific by project. Okay, assigning and maintaining the baseline, we will talk about it inshallah next session. Also, it's specific. The threshold, the issue, and the risk is all specific by project, are not common in all projects. But if we open the enterprise menu here, we'll have more details. Like, for example, the resource library. We can use the same resources in two projects. It's possible. Yeah, the budget it will be not the same. Maybe there is a resource overload if we will use labor resources on the same time in both projects. But if we have a material, for example, in the bibliothèque, we name it, we can use it in both projects. It's not possible. So that's why here we can find the resources part of enterprise data. Okay, there is the roles. The role and resources are similar concept. Uh, Honestly, we will not talk about it in this session. OBS, organizational breakdown structure, is mainly used to define the access, the access on the access on access right. Let's say if we are using a multi-user access in the EPPM, for example, Mr. A, when he will connect to the database, he will be not able to open the schedule of Mr. B. This is the main reason to use the OBS. Okay. The resource code, project code, activity code, this is a codification structure to group and sort and to prepare some reporting. Rania, there is a mass project, mais c'est un outil défaillant, tout simplement. On ne peut pas l'utiliser. Okay, so that's why we use only Primavera P6. So, what else? Calendars, yeah. Calendars is the enterprise data feature. Because we can use calendar in two different projects, we can use even the same calendar in two different activity. We can use, this is one of the main features also of Primavera P6. One project can have different calendars. It's possible. Okay. The resource shift also. There is the feature to use the double or triple event shift in Primavera P6. The activity steps template. This is, we name it in English, and our project control is the rules of credit. The rules of credit is one of the best practices used to measure the progress. Like, for example, if we do this step in this activity, I will earn 20%. If I will do the next step, I will earn a cumulative 40%. If I do the third step, I will earn 60%. If I do the step number 4, 80, step number 5, 100% when it will be after the reception to the client, for example. And this is, we name it in our project control word, rules of credit. And the rules of credit is very well defined on the progress measurement system. We use it usually, and it needs to be approved in the beginning. Otherwise, it can be also one of the reason of a communication issue and problem. Cost account is, we name it cost account, we name it cost code, we name it code of account. This is, we use it especially when we resource load the schedule, the schedule with the cost also. And this is very powerful feature, especially if there is integration with other software, like, for example, Ecosys or Oracle Unifier or any other software can be used to integrate the full picture between cost and scheduling and other project controls integration. What else? This is generally the resource curve. We use it when we assign resources. When usually the general or the default distribution of resources on the activity, it's linear distribution. But here we can even define our proper distribution. If the distribution of resources on the period it's not linear, we can define the distribution, and there is some by default resource curve like backloaded, bell-shaped, front-loaded, linear, etc. We can force the distribution of the resource load and when we assign any activity or any resource on the activity level. This is also very important feature. Voila, that's it as a high level introduction of the graphic interface of the software. Now we will move to the actions. And the first action is to create the project, okay? And when we talk about project creation, so we will go to we will click to file, then new, and then we will select the project and click on OK. Okay, let me do it. Let me do it live. Let me go back to the project list. I will click to file new. Okay, then the wizard will be appeared here. Just hold on, please. It's loading. Okay, I don't know what's the problem. Hold on, please. Yeah, because I have to monitor, that's why. Good. So here, the software asking about the EPS, Enterprise Project Structure. What is EPS? EPS is the structure to group the project, okay? And for example, I will group the project by business unit, okay? Like an engineering and construction project and energy, like portfolio, like we discussed, we explained it before. So if this project is part of engineering and construction, for example, group, I will select engineering and construction group. And once the project will be created, it will be saved under the engineering and construction group. Okay. Here, the next step is project name, project ID, and project name. Any project have a project ID. It's like a codification used on the company level. We use it to codify the project in the ERP or in the system. Project name is the project name. It's normal thing there. Any project have a name. Then project start and date. And this is very important here. If we have a specific start and finish date, we can put it. If the contract is already signed, we can put it. But if we are preparing a schedule just for, let's say, a bidding cycle, or we don't know even when this project will start and when this project will finish, please keep it as it is. Keep it by default the date of today. And tomorrow you can modify this feature anytime. Responsible manager, as I said, is related to the access, OBS. Okay, so it's not important feature. It's for me, it's not even a scheduling feature in Primavera P6. Assignment rate type. There is a different cost rate can be assigned in P6, and this is one of the best feature. Also, when we talk about cost in Primavera P6. We know very well that it's possible to have a standard rate and to have an OT rate, for example, for overtime. To have a rate if I will send my team expatriate to another country, for example. So it's possible to use a different type on the same resources, and this is one of the best feature when you talk about cost in P6. Then the wizard will tell you, congratulations, your new project has been created. To modify your project properties and settings, you can modify it here in this bottom level, as we explained before. So if you can see here, there is a new project created. The name of project, since I didn't touch anything, it's a new project. And if I click open, I will have my project open with the blank. Nothing is there, everything white, with for a simple reason there is no WBS, there is no activities, there is no sequence, and I need to go to the next step, which is, what is it? Now, anyone can write it in the chat. What is the next step after creating the project? Very good, very good. WBS creation is the first step, and let's talk about it. Sorry, we still have only 15 minutes. I will try to. Oh, sorry. Okay, very good. So the WBS, it's simple, easy. Let's use this structure for example. Okay, we have a nursing home construction. Okay, and the nursing home. Sorry, I will, I will continue with this construction field. Huh? Shabab al-IT, I'm really sorry. So building one, there is a building two, there is a garage two, roads, utilities, and rivers, and there is a landscape and irrigation. Under the building one, there is a sub WBS structure, roof, envelope, interior finishes, and pool and courtyard. And same for the building two. One difference is there is no pool in the building two. Okay, so to create this structure, it's easy. We need to go to the WBS view in the navigation bar, click add to create a new WBS element, and then for a typical project, create a top level WBS element as per the scope of work, assign code, responsible manager, and other attributes as required. What is the key here? Uh, this is what we need to highlight, as we discussed it before. WBS is the scope of work. So you need to reflect your entire scope of work in the WBS structure. Otherwise, garbage in, garbage out. This is the most important thing. Okay, so to create a WBS, it's easy. We go to project, menu project, then WBS. A new menu WBS will be appear in the top. And here everything is empty. So I will click right and plus add, or I will use this shortcut here, plus, or I will go to edit and plus add. كل الطرق تؤدي إلى روما. So here I will use the structure, use it in my Excel file, and make sure this is what I need also to highlight. When we go to Primavera, when we open Primavera, we need to make sure that all the data is already there. Yani we consolidated all the data from our execution team members. We had a meeting, and we discussed the WBS structure. And this structure is approved by the PM, approved by the sponsor, approved by the client, and we have it clearly identified in an Excel file, for example. Okay, same for the activity. Each team member, each responsible on his field, he is the expert. Like, for example, process engineering, piping engineering, electrical engineering, civil engineering. He is the owner. He knows better than me what they need to execute. They knows better than me what they have in the WBS. They are requested to read carefully the WBS and put the details of this component or this WBS or this work package at the bottom up level of the WBS into activities. So please make sure to receive this data from the execution team, even if you have 25 years of experience as a planner, even if you are confident, fully confident that you are able to build your schedule from scratch. Please don't do it. Why? For the simple reason, if you do it alone, in case of problem during the execution, during the progress update, you will not receive a recovery plan. You will receive a complaint. The first one which is owner of the delay, he will tell you this schedule is wrong. You didn't take my advice. I am the expert. I am the engineer, lead of civil and piping. It's not you. You are only a scheduler. So since you build your schedule alone, you assume alone your responsibility. And in these 14 years, trust me, أقسم بالله العظيم, I heard this in all projects. Since I was planner, junior planner, a senior, a principal, a chief, a scheduling SME, a deputy head of scheduling department, a project control manager, always I heard the same statement. The schedule is wrong. It's not my fault. It's the planner fault. But if this execution team member will share with you the data, they will not have even the courage to tell you this is wrong because your answer will be clear. My brother, this is your input, it's not mine. So assume your responsibility. Be a man and share with me your recovery plan to correct this mess instead to complain and make no reason complaints in the quality of the schedule. Okay, so here the rule, as we said, is to consolidate all the data on Excel before even opening Primavera P6. Have everything ready. Your WBS, your activities, your sequence dependency, the predecessor and successor, maybe the log and the lead, the duration, everything is very well consolidated in Excel file. When you go to Primavera, you will build as a planner your schedule, and yeah, then you will go to the interactive planning session to see the outcome of this exercise, because sometimes this is also the beauty. When the execution team will work, they will work on silo. They will provide you the data on silos. Everyone will estimate the duration, will estimate the work, will give you the dependency, etc. But they don't know the full picture. When you integrate the schedule and when you link, especially the interface between the different team, etc., you can see the overall picture of the project. Maybe the project, instead to have 12-month project, that will, after the sequence of the overall picture, it will give us 18 or 24 months. So we need to go back to the team to show them, Shabab, this is what we have as an outcome, and we need to do all the optimization required. We know about it in PMP, the fast tracking or crashing, etc. The fast tracking, especially the time compression, if it's related to the time, is fast tracking and crashing, and if it's related to over resource loading, we can talk about resource leveling and smoothing, and this is also we will highlight it in the next session, inshallah, if we have time. So if I will continue like that, I don't think so, but I need to accelerate uh, my right. Anyways, so that's it. So then we will go in this. We will take the WBS structure, for example, and we will start building our structure. Okay. So the first one is building one. So I will create it here, building one. Then I will click on plus. Same under building one. We said there is a list of WBS, like structure, roof, envelope, interior finish, and pool, and they will create one by one. Here I want to highlight something. There is the concept here is of hierarchy. Okay, there is level 1, level 2, level 3. If you can see here, the level of the WBS1 is not the same level as the WBS2. Why? Because the new WBS, which I will name it structure, for example, here, its part is under building one. Okay, and how can I manage this this leveling? with this feature here, if you can see it, there is a move the four arrow, and I can move left. If I move left, it will be the same level. Okay. If I move it right, it will be under building one. And be careful when you create, it's by default it will go under the existing WBS. So that's why you need to go back and send it back, move to the left here to have the same structure or the same level. Sorry. Okay, so the second one is roof. The second one is roof. I will add plus. It was created under roof. I will turn it back, move left. And the third one is envelope. Yeah, it's possible. Good question. Thank you. Because it's a time constraint, we will not go through the feature of import export by Excel. Okay. And your colleague have right to ask this question, because in a real project, Shabab, there is no four or five WBS. There is no four or five activities. In reality, there is thousands of activity and a big structure of WBS. And usually we use the Excel to import export this data via Excel. Yes, it's possible to do it through Excel. Okay. But now just I'm sharing with you the classic method. Then plus interior finishes. We still have only 5 minutes before close the session. And the last one is wall and code chart. Then I will create the building 2. And to create a building 2, I need to move to the left twice. So first one and take a second one. Here it will give me the same level of building 1. So I will write it building 2. And here, if you can see, if I will collapse, it will give you building 1 and building 2. Okay, building. Okay. And here I can continue to create the same. I will show you something ready. It's better, like this one. This is our project. So building 1, under building 1, we have this subs WBS. Then building 2, under building 2, we have also the same list of sub WBS. Then we have garage 1, garage 2, the road, utilities, and landscape. We can see it in our org chart like that instead of a table. This is the screenshot which I took in the presentation. Okay, this is the WBS. Then the next stage after WBS, what is it? What is the next? Exactly, is activity creation. So we will define the activities under the lowest level of WBS, which we name it a work package. This structure is work package. The roof is work package. So we will go through details and develop or define the activities under each sub WBS. Like for example, under the structure, we will put the building bed including UG, first floor masonry, second floor, etc., etc. Same for the roof, etc. So this is also simple feature. I will see it inshallah in the next session. I'm obliged to stop right now the session. So really thank you for your participation and for your يعني attendance. MashaAllah, since the beginning of the session until the end, we are talking about 300 or more than 300 participants, mashallah, until the end. And this is really great success. Thank you very much. This is the code. Go. Here we go. So you can copy the code to secure your certification. And thank you again for your participation. Really, it was amazing. And I hope that I give you at least a valuable added value. And tomorrow, inshallah, or after tomorrow, we'll talk about the resource loading. We'll talk about the path analysis. We will talk about the remaining basics feature of Primavera P6. I will keep this screen open for 5 minutes, let's say. Then I will close the session. Shukran, barakallahu feekum, and see you on Wednesday in 25th, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.